What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 121 of the Stellar Club podcast. I'm just going to go ahead and drop that beat.
Drop that beat, yeah, we feel that weight. March got messy, but we still feel great. Right before dawn, but we see that light. Stellar Club groove, yeah, we back in stride. Take a breath, now we go again.
You got in my head, Ken, because now I'm like, is the song also dropping the beat? Are we redundantly dropping the beat now? Like,
we will have to.
It
depends
will.
on my assistant. If my assistant feels like
whatever they decide.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's pretty funny. I am really excited about this episode because it's darkest before the dawn. I kind of feel like I don't know about you. I feel like I'm up to my eyeballs in the March Madness that we have set out to put ourselves through.
Yeah.
But it's going well. It's just like, it's a lot of things.
No, I think in all reality, if you're up to your eyeballs, I'm down under. So
you're like drowning.
Yeah, so down under. It's not even.
You mean
like
Australia or
yeah, that too, right?
all the way all the way. Over
I don't even think it's much more of the physical, logistical time under. It's more of just like maybe coming down from a high of like Q4, Q5.
Yeah, Q5 is kind of
selling
wrapping
so
up.
much, and traveling a lot. Obviously we had the Berlin high,
so high,
and coming down to like getting back into the groove, and it's funny because like we said, like the mood, right? Your mood to work plays so much. And when you talk about mood, it's all about mental toughness. We talk about the mindset in the last few episodes, and I was just like, man, I think we need to take a breather. Like we can go, but I felt like, me and JC are not as productive. It feels like a task would take longer, just because you're trying to either. One is you just have to get it done, right? Obviously, we have to ship, but everything else is just like I feel like I've always found an excuse to just, let's do this first. Let's do this first, right? And we still haven't really kicked back to the what do you call that? Inventory check. And, And I think it was over the weekend. Sporadically, I was just like, let's just go out to the outlets and. Went there and found some stuff at the Nike outlet. Right.
Inventory.
And then went to, a different store there and found some stuff at Converse, catch up with, the supervisors and employees that we know. So that was good. And the funny thing is they asked me, it's like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, so that means you want me here more? So I was like, go. And then I was like, well, I guess we'll just have to inventory check later.
You're like, what have you got?
Yeah, so yeah, that's
cool.
kind of like where we're at, and so we're recording this a little, few days before it releases, but we just got back from a quick, getaway, visit some friends and hang out with them, and really not do eBay. We didn't do eBay for 3 days, meaning we didn't ship, we didn't list. All we did was like accept offers and respond to questions. So we stayed up late, we ate all the foods that we wanted. We didn't work out for 3 days,
Oh wow.
So it's a very good mental and physical break, and get out of the ordinary. But also at the same time, we were like in a winter freeze in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, we got down to 28 a few days.
Oh yeah, it was like that here too. There was extremely freezing temperatures and then tornadoes.
Yeah, like right,
and now
like,
it's like
so
almost 70.
Yeah, so currently right now it's like 60, and eventually the next few days is gonna hit 70. So
yeah,
we're back in the sunny because I felt I was ready for the sun already, and I was just like,
for sure.
And we had strong winds and cold, so that's where we're at. You talk about the messy middle. It's it was messy that we just put it all in a trash bag, and I'll take it out later.
Take it to the dumpster.
Yeah, I'll take it out later.
Or more like to a mini spring break.
Exactly.
But I think that's really smart because you know, in some ways, this kind of March Madness buckling down for March was coming off of the heels of a very busy Q4 / Q5 kind of season.
Right.
And I really think, I know this has been so true in my life, that I will go hard at things when the mood of it is with me, right? And so then when it's not, I'm like the same way. I'm like, I'm pretty inclined to just push through and muscle through and get it done, but it is less productive, and it's frankly just like not as good of an experience overall. Even and some things, like you said, like shipping, you do have to get that done, but everything else, so many times people like drive themselves to the brink where they want to quit, and they really just needed to take a break, and probably should have listened to that sooner. So it sounds like you picked the right moment to go, hey, I recognize this is feeling a little bit like overbearing right now, and we should just take a break so that we can come back to it fresh.
Right, and that's it. And I think a lot of people just have to recognize that.
Yeah.
We are starting this is our first month of our 9th year in business.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm already thinking like, what's after 10?
Yeah.
Right. So 10's usually a decade of doing things. You know, like,
I know my 9th year starts in May.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm trying to have a new version of my book by year 10.
Right. So
that's the only thing I have planned, though.
Yeah. So that's always in the back of my head now. Obviously, I don't want to think about it too soon, but I don't want to not think about it. Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got some family events upcoming this summer. You know, we're going back to the Philippines to, visit my family, celebrate my parents' 60th birthday. So
anniversary or birthday?
Birthday. Both of them are gonna turn 60 this year.
Yeah.
So
I know they're not 80. I was just kidding.
Yeah. That's super exciting. So I think like I know that there's a half point mark of kind of like this grind. So we're thinking about that. Okay, like what can we get done before we leave for that short break of vacation in the middle?
Yeah.
And then foresee what we need to do when we get back as well. So, I think it's just more like a planning phase. Would you call it like we gotta plan our year, right? Obviously, like it's fun to plan it on January 1st, but
you also don't have a good feel for the year yet.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
Or I don't know, like things always are unfolding, I guess. But
right.
I like to make plans, but they're kind of loose plans.
Right.
For the most part, when it comes to like the further away it is, the more flexible it probably needs to be, because who knows what's going to happen, really.
Yeah. So that's the exciting part, and like always happy to engage with everybody else that's listening. Just kind of been looking around, just engaging with other people in the community, looking at what they're doing, what they're up to. But I think overall, I think that the eBay buyer base is still strong. I've noticed that the traffic is still there. I only worry when I don't get as much traffic as I used
where
to.
Are they
right?
eyeballs?
Like where are they going? Right? Why are they not scrolling through my items?
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good, sales, yes, but it's more for like traffic. Like, are they browsing through my items? And so far it's kind of just like leaning towards the stuff that we're selling are more summer driven, summer outfits, right? Shorts, tank tops. You guys probably tired of me saying it, but this by design, like we buy off season so that we can sell on season. So that's kind of like it's happening. So that's something that previously I've had to be really on point on, but if you've done it a few seasons and you kind of like it's kind of like harvesting, right? If I plant now, I know I'll harvest in 3 months. If I plant then, so it's like we call it like intercropping. The agriculture does that. So you plant in a staggered manner. That way, by the time it harvests, you'll harvest every month. So that's kind of like how I see it.
I mean, you guys haven't been really big into apparel until the last couple of years.
True. Yep.
So like shoes, I would argue, footwear in general is like much less seasonal on
Yep.
average.
Yeah.
But clothing is way more seasonal.
Right. No,
And I
agree.
mean, it's also regional. So that
Yeah.
gets, tempered a little bit because there's always somebody who lives in a warm place and somebody who lives in a cold place. But, a lot of people who are most likely to be buying from you are in a seasonal place
Right.
where
No,
there
for
are
sure.
different seasons. And
Well,
at
that's
least
when
different
it
temperatures.
requires a new gear, right? Like
Right.
a season change or going somewhere different is it's
Right.
kind of like the opportunity where we can sell to.
Yeah.
What have you been up
Definitely.
to?
Well, I have been making so much progress at the shop, getting
Mm-hmm.
things set up. I kind of did the opposite as far as my inventory check because I had basically decided, okay, if I even get to touch that in March, great, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
prioritize basically new listings and cross listing before I get into that.
Right.
And then what happened was I was out there working, shipping and just doing some more to set up the space physically. And I had like 20 minutes left. And I'm like, what do I do with 20 minutes? I hate doing things in small chunks of time
Yeah.
like that. So I was like, I'll use this 20 minutes as a test and see how many bins I can inventory in this 20 minutes. And I actually got through 4 bins and I found 2 unlisted items already. So that's a great sign to me that I need to go do the other 126 bins that are out there.
Right.
But it was good in a way. I think it was very helpful to gather that information because I haven't done it in so long. And it helps me to know, like, okay, if realistically I'm going to do this incrementally, maybe a few bins every time I'm out there for a while, and I don't get the luxury of a big chunk of time, like what can I reasonably expect to get done if I have 20 minutes or something?
Right.
So I think it was really helpful. And even though it feels like I'm spreading my attention a little bit thin, it was nice to be able to say now that I've gotten that started and to find those 2 things because that's profit that's just sitting there,
Right.
So that's good. I'm not going to list that stuff though. A lot of it, it's like it wasn't listed on eBay at all. And if it had been listed at some point, it's like whatever
fell
ghost
through.
of that
Yeah.
listing is long gone. I'm just going to have to photograph it and
Okay.
everything.
So it's a basic new inventory.
It's a new inventory. I still have in my spreadsheet, I still have the data about, where it came from and what my cost of goods was and stuff like that. And so I, for both things, like I found them in my spreadsheet, but they were not on eBay anymore. And I think I've said this before on the podcast, but I accidentally deleted some listings at one point,
Yep. Usually,
like a long time ago at this point, but maybe a year and a half ago or something. So I know there's at least like I don't know, probably 100 things that I personally deleted myself on accident. So other than that, we'll see what I find, but I don't know which things they were. So that's kind of
Right.
hard too. And I've purged a lot of my items since then too. So probably a lot of them got thrown out when I purged. Not thrown out, but they were eliminated from my spreadsheet at that point too.
Right.
So I might find some things that are not in my spreadsheet and not on eBay, and I'm not going to relist them. But so far, the 2 things I found, I am going to relist, but I'm going to wait till I have a full bin of stuff that needs to be relisted and just put it in the queue with my other new inventory that is sitting waiting from auctions, a consignment client, and a whole bunch of movie posters.
Nice.
One of the things that I was trying to get done in the month of March, I had set this goal for the month of March was to basically list all of the movie posters. And the big bottleneck for that was researching them because it varies so much what they're worth. And so I had already started this process, but I mean, there are like hundreds, if not thousands in this pile that I have. Wow. And so I was sorting them, like quickly searching comps, right? And sorting them into piles. Here's the cream of the crop. Here's the worth listing, but not right away, not first. And the like probably not ever going to list it. Or maybe I'll like auction them or figure out something else to do with them. So I have like, 3 grades basically. And some of it has to do with condition also. But I got like a crazy burst of focus and ended up researching and sorting the entire rest of the pile, which resulted in about 200 posters in the cream of the crop pile.
Wow, that's
and
good.
Some of those, I mean, I was just looking at that in my spreadsheet. So like, I think 40 or 50 of them are already listed, but all the others haven't even been photographed yet.
Right.
And then none of B or C piles have been photographed or touched at all.
Right.
So that was really helpful because, you know, we've talked about this a little bit lately, but just like prioritizing
Yes.
your listings. So like I'm doing all the highest value posters first.
Right.
And then I'm going to focus on my other inventory for a while.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have, you know, this B pile of posters to work on the next time I have a lull in sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
And the C pile might be there for a long time because it's probably not worth anything anyway.
Right.
And I do have, you know, a lot of unprocessed, like raw estate sale items and stuff like that sitting at
Yeah.
the shop also. And I really do want to get to that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really helpful to just do, you know, prioritize it that way. There's much fewer of the estate sale items and like the consignment items, which are also mostly cool vintage things. But those I have to research and log all of that stuff too to even determine like what's the most valuable. But I can tell you my plan right now is to do the valuable posters and then all of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
kind of regardless of value, if it's worth listing, because most of those things I'm not even going to list them unless they are my ASP or higher, right? My target ASP or higher. So it will be like best posters, everything else, and then B pile posters, or I'll be sourcing more by then. But I really am trying to make use of what I have because I have a lot to list right now.
Right. That is a good place to be in. And one of the things that you mentioned a few times is really prioritizing it. And just like everything else, right? Your energy flows where the focus goes, as Lori would say it. And you want to put the highest importance of your energy and time with the ones that will yield the most.
Absolutely. You want the greatest impact.
Right, the greatest impact. And, you know, like if you're in a position where your bottleneck is processing stuff, kind of like where you're at right now, then you shouldn't be buying more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There are thousands
I'm taking a break from it because all of this stuff came in at once, kind of from different places. I'm like, okay, wow, I'm like good for a while.
Yeah,
I need to work through this stuff.
And it's harder. It's so easy on paper, but for me at least, it's so much harder to do in person.
Yeah.
And maybe April will be a no spend month for us.
Yeah.
And really just can I get myself into something that doesn't involve me buying.
Right. I mean, it honestly is. I think it's a good challenge. Like if you can afford to do this in your business, I do think for the sake of like diversifying and keeping an open mind and also just having new experiences and learning.
Yep.
Like it's a great exercise to go, okay, all my sourcing this month has to be free. Literally.
Right.
What can I find on the side of the road? What can I find free on Marketplace? What can my friends and family give me that they were already getting rid of? What can I consign for someone? Like if those are things you've never done to source before and you're like, I do need to, I mean, if you have a death pile, like list that first. But if you're like, okay, I'm in a good spot, my inventory is making me money and I don't want to just churn it all back into new inventory right away, like how can I source in a creative way? It's a really good exercise, even just to try it for the sake of the experiment.
Yeah, I think so too. I think any
or like
variation.
Clean out your own closet and sell your own stuff.
I've said it multiple times and we still haven't got into it. We did clean it out. But,
see, how come every time you say something, I end up doing it? Because I did
that
that's
true.
Week
You
too.
just did that.
And I wasn't expecting to.
Yeah, we're kind of planning to redo our living room, get rid of the shoe display that we have in one of the corners of the wall. And that can only happen if we get rid of, half of it or, most of it.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this multiple times to other people. It's like, I'm kind of done with collecting sneakers for a while. So I want to experience the kind of like the thrill of it. If, I can't experience it if I see it every day. So everything's got to go in some way, shape, or form. And I might have to just keep it if it's something that I won't be able to acquire later down the road. But if it's something that I can acquire later down the road for much better price or much better condition, I'm all for it. So
Yeah, gotta keep the thrill alive of
Yeah,
like
and
finding the cool stuff.
it's a spring cleaning vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
feel like is there a playlist for a spring cleaning vibe? There's gotta
Surely
be, huh?
there is.
There's gotta be. So if you guys have any suggestions, what gets you in a mood of spring cleaning? So make sure you DM us your
Yes.
playlist for that.
So we got basically at the time that this episode comes out, we have one more solid week of this March Madness. So like just taking stock of like what you've accomplished so far, what is still outstanding, like what are you gonna like, are you going to like lock in for that last week, or are you gonna float? Like how's it gonna go, do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Like I'm all for like, oh, we gotta take advantage of what's left, right? Like, or gonna make the most of the last week. But also, I'm a fan of having a long-term mindset that, yeah, I could burn myself out this month and take the whole month of April off.
Right.
Like, that's even more,
that's a whiplash, yeah.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
So that's kind of like why we took that mini break. And really, I'm planning to really try to at least conquer a few things. I think one is we've been really good at our working out. That's the physical health that we're putting as a priority. I want to lock down the last 10 days of pre-scheduling everything. So that's one. That way I don't have to think about, do I work out tomorrow or not? Like, that's number one priority. And then
like blocking your time.
Right, blocking my time and everything like that. So that is one. The number two is breaking it down in smaller tasks. I think that's one of the things that I'm very like visionary as far as like, oh, we're gonna conquer the world, but I can't even conquer my closet. So that's my challenge is blocking it in small chunks. So one of the things that I want to do is one day, I want to accomplish finding all the boxes of the shoes that I want to sell, because obviously some of the shoes are going to be more valuable with boxes.
Right, with their box, yeah.
So put them in a box and bring them downstairs in the basement. We have a shoe table that is our processing table for it to be photographed. Put it there. And then we could see an account of everything that, oh, like, we need more, or I need to get rid of more, or like, oh, we're, you kind of have like that fulfillment and being visual about it. It's like, oh, that corner is getting cleared. So that is one. Chunking it in smaller, pieces. And obviously, spring cleaning happens, right? Like, I think a little bit more personal. We want to, again, probably put away our heavy coats, winter coats, and stuff like that. And if this is something that I don't want to wear next season, might as well list it, right?
I'm laughing because I tried to do that already, and then it got down to like 10 degrees again after I had to get them back out.
No, exactly, right? So
I'm so mad.
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's not anymore. I mean,
actually, I mean, the first day of spring is tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
2 days from when we're recording.
Yeah. So it's either that, or I'm just gonna have to, tough out and just wear a hoodie. So that is one.
Just punish yourself for it.
And you know what? Those three is probably where we're gonna stick at. And one of the things is really work on the organization of what needs to be put away. I think we talk about like the craziness of selling a lot when chaos happens. There's just certain piles to just put to the side. Returns, right? We got returns. We got items that we found there's a flaw, so we can't list.
Sometimes you just gotta clear the decks.
Clear the decks and put a designated, right? Like one of the things that we want to do is have a bin for flawed items. And then evaluate it if it's worth listing with flaw, or we just gotta, clearance it, or even donate it back.
Yeah.
So I think I'm thinking what the last week's gonna be is gonna be a setup for a clean slate in April.
Love that.
And I think that's gonna be a more of an energizing start, that I'm not gonna start with a mess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna April's gonna be more of an offensive move for us, in a way where, we have a full month of tackling, getting our inventory squared back up again. I've had plans in my head to, build another shelf, whether it's building it by wood or buying a metal shelf. Then it would be more streamlined, that, if things are put to where they're at right now, and I can shift things around, then I could visually see certain things, like, okay, I need to get rid of this section, need to consolidate that section. So that is kind of like the mood and the vibe of, yes, March was a mess and madness, but it's gonna set up for, a better, I would say, a more organized April.
Yeah. I hope so. I mean, I think something I've learned from the madness, I did end up generating so much momentum. It was like a little bit more chaotic than I wanted it to be, because I feel like I'm focusing on like so many different areas at once.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'm not really complaining, because I've made significant progress on all of them. Like, sometimes when you pick too many things, you don't really make any progress, because you're
soon.
Yeah, you're spreading your effort too thin. But I feel like getting like my shipping and photography stuff set up at the shop was a game changer.
Right.
And that was so motivating to me. And also, it's just way more efficient now. So I love that. And I don't know that I'm going to be complete. Like, I don't know that I'm going to see each of the things I'm focusing on to completion by the end of March. I'm going to probably going to try to pick at least one thing to have totally done. Like, right now in my mind, the most realistic thing, which was actually one of my original goals before we even started talking about March Madness, this was like a goal that I made in January. I kind of sprinkled several goals throughout the year, and one of them was to have all the posters listed. And I mean, that was shorthand for having all of the best posters listed, all the valuable ones listed, right? But I knew that I'd have to research them all first. I have to sort them, blah, blah. So I did get that done. And now the only thing left to accomplish that goal, as I said it in January, is to list the other, whatever, like 120 or 140 that are sitting there, which is totally doable by the end of the month. Like, I could probably do that in one day if I tried. So anyway, that will be a good, like, clean, executed, cross it off the list, right? For March Madness. But there's other things like the inventory check, and a couple other like logistics things out at the shop that I don't know that I will get them done by the end of March. But again, I'm going to prioritize these different little areas of goals and try to take them out as best I can by the end of March. And then that's going to give me a lot of momentum going into April to hopefully finish the next one by the end of April. And I guess in my mind right now, I'll report back about how realistic this is, but the next one in my mind right now is to basically have all of my unlisted stuff listed, with the exception of the B and C pile posters, because those are kind of more like for a rainy day. Like, that's my intention with those. But everything else I think definitely could be by the end of April. And I think at least a no spend sourcing month does make sense for me in April. So I like that idea. I'm glad you brought that one up.
Yeah, I think that would be something cool. I think maybe, if you guys have any challenges that you guys want us to do, or you guys are about to do, share it to us, because I think a challenge itself, as the name brings, I think it's just something to get you out of the mundane, or not even probably even something that you don't like. It's just something that probably is not, it's something new, right? And I believe something new brings exciting.
Okay, I don't know if you want to commit to this, but what if every week of April for the podcast, we had a show and tell / contest of who could source the better free item? And we could
Oh.
bring like them to each other and argue our case. And also, if there are comps for it, we could talk about the comps.
Oh, we should. I
That would
think
be
that would be
super
cool.
fun.
You know, it's kind of like reminds me of what was that? The July, pick 5 items, list something every day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
You
kinda did that.
you listed like 5 things a day, right?
Right,
For
I
a
listened
month?
to 5. Yeah, well, it kind of like 20 days. I fell short a little bit.
That's
but
a lot of things.
yeah,
That's
so
100 things.
right, so I think that's something cool. We should, like we still have some time, and I think we should draft something up and kind of like create a graphic for it and pass it to everybody.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You're right. Shop your, old electronics drawer. Like
Right, you can find it wherever as long as you don't steal it
100%.
and you don't pay any money for it.
Yeah, I sold like a really old microphone my first Rode microphone.
Yeah, I remember
that
that.
I bought in 2018 for $35.
Wow.
And and I probably would have put that out on a garage sale for $1 or
Yeah.
$5,
And you're
so
like, well, dang, I'm glad I didn't.
so I think that would be a good challenge. Let's do some some research around it, and
Yeah.
again, if we're not going out and putting that much effort going out sourcing and actually spending our own money, maybe we can double down on being more engaging in social media and really trying to get with the community and be there in the trenches with them as we hustle our way through our closets and junk drawers.
It is
and-
spring cleaning time. I mean, maybe that's a good excuse too.
Yeah, and then like some of your old shoes. I already sold 2 pairs of shoes that I don't wear. That I listed in the beginning of the month. So dang it, I should have waited.
I am terrible about shoes because I am like emotionally attached to them.
No,
and when I
no.
was, I got rid of some when I was cleaning out my closet because I was rotating in all my spring and summer
Right.
clothing. So I have a really small closet. So I have some bins in the attic that are like the off season stuff.
Mhm.
But I was also like, I don't need that many clothes. I'm one person, So I've been
No.
trying to pare it down every time I switch
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Since we lived in this house, and it's been really great. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's so freeing. But the shoes are the hardest part for me, and so I ended up throwing away 2 pairs because they were like falling
You weren't.
apart.
Yeah, you weren't.
I was
too,
like,
Yeah,
okay.
too raw. Yeah.
I can get rid of these.
Yo, I think about it as the concept of the shoe, getting rid of shoe is like renting it. Perfect example, like I paid for $100 on a shoe that I work out with. It was $150 retail originally. I paid $100 for it, and I wore it for a year and a half. I mean, obviously, if I wore it to gym, really didn't get beat up. Soles were still intact and everything, and I sold it for $60.
Wow.
So $40 to rent a shoe for a year and a half.
Well, I'm for one very glad that doesn't count towards our competition. at
yeah,
all.
I know. 'cause
Because
that would have been
that's hard to beat.
Yeah, so
But that's great. That's the kind of stuff that's going to make a
Yeah.
great case for why your find was the best find.
yeah, and it's fun, and it's it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna justify spending more, but,
Yeah. Well, right. I was going to say maybe we should okay, these are things that we have found. So
Right.
maybe as we find them, we can show them
Mhm.
but if they sell before the end of April, that's even better, right?
That's
if
even
we,
better,
If we go
yes.
ahead and get them listed.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
we can still bring them to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they're not listed yet.
Yeah, I think again, like talking about like putting a dedicated box or a bin
Yeah.
for those things, we could have like every day we could go sourcing from
Yeah.
our different
The dumpsters in your
closet
neighborhood.
or
No,
yeah,
I'm
right,
just
right. Like do everything, and then we just have a bin, a pile, and it's like, okay, this is what I scavenge, right?
Yeah.
Or,
It's so fun.
yeah, I think that would be fun, and I think that is just even talking about it, we didn't talk and plan for it.
No,
but
this is all happening right now.
yeah, it's happening right now, and you guys are doing it with us. I think that
Yes.
would be the most fun, exciting part of it. And at the same time, we get we get to do something different, right? Like we get to do something, a breather, right? Maybe scour your free Facebook Marketplace,
Right.
or maybe post in your social medias like, hey, I'm doing a closet clean out. Do you want me to clean out your closet too? I'll take
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'll donate the rest.
Honestly,
and,
that's one of those cool things that might actually just open doors for you because
Correct.
and why experiments are worth doing, because what if you make connections with someone who's an awesome consignment client or who's just a donator to your store.
It's like I just
great.
spend $10,000 every month for clothing, and whatever I don't wear is I just get rid of it.
I just donate it. I mean, I know that people do that because I find that stuff in thrift stores sometimes. Right.
There's a reason why they make it to thrift stores, right? Like all the new with tags and stuff like that. Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like in the reselling community, you hear more about people who are like griping about, you know, thrifters are stealing from the poor and like that kind of stuff. Definitely hear that all the time. But there's also people who are like, oh my gosh, how cool that this is how you support your family and this is what you do for a living. Right. I'd way rather give it to you than to Goodwill. Right. There's also that, but they don't know about that. They don't know to ask you about it if they don't know what you do. So once they find out, or even if you're just doing this silly little challenge and you put it out there, like you never know. Yep. So I think it's going to be a good time and at a time when everyone is spring cleaning. Yeah. So maybe that's even more likely to happen. Yeah. So I think we're geared up for you know, next month, and keep following us on social media. Follow us at the Seller Club Podcast on Instagram. Anna finds everything on Instagram. I'm almost at 3,500 followers. There you go. I want to get to 3,600 before I turn 36. So. Oh, there you go. And also, we're gonna have a lot of we're gonna have a guest soon, so that's gonna be pretty cool. And we are gonna be really pushing for, you know, trying to do things differently. I think we're pretty good at doing the same things over and over again already in our 9th year of business, but it's kind of like cool to just reinvent ourselves as well. You know, this might be a little shorter episode this time around, but I think it's building up steam to what's gonna be up and coming in April. I think so too. And you know, there's no time to lose because this is like the last push. It's the last hurrah of the March Madness, and we've got some work to do. Yep. By the way, just throwing it out there, Glenn is still alive and well. I'm imagining that his March Madness is like balling up a dirty diaper and like completely swooshing it into the trash can. Nothing but net for sure in El Paso. So we love him. We miss him. He will be back at some point. Yep. But he's definitely probably changing a lot of dirty diapers. Right. And catch him on Whatnot, Hustler Hacks on Whatnot. That's where he's the most active on currently. Yes. Dirty deals on hats and dirty diapers. And thank you guys so much for listening. Huge shout out to Seller Ledger for supporting this podcast. Tax season is up and coming. Make sure you get your books right. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and try them out. No credit card required. So we will see you in the next episode. Peace. See you. Bye-bye.
All right. It's been a week, but we still here. Up to our eyeballs, yeah, we felt that way. March got loud, but we still stay brave. From the highs to the wait, what now? Had to slow it down just to figure it out. Not every day gonna hit that stride. Sometimes you reset just to realign. Took a breather, now we back in place. Little more clarity, little more space. Messy middle, yeah, we in that zone, but we still building brick by stone. Take a pause, don't fight the flow. That's how you level up what you know. Springtime shift, feel that change. Heavy days don't stay the same. Clean it up, clear your view. Next move's already waiting on you. Seller Club, that's the vibe. We adjust, we don't just grind. Step by step, day by day, that's how we find a better way. Hey, plans ain't broken, they just evolve. That's how real ones learn to solve. Break it down, one bin, one rack. Look up quick and you right on track. Year 9 in, now we think ahead. What we building, what we getting led. We ain't rushing, we build it right. Long game wins every single time. Springtime shift, now we rise. Clearer focus, better eyes. From the chaos to control. That's the Seller Club protocol. Fresh reset, new momentum. April ready, let's go get 'em right. All right, take that breather. Then get back to it. Seller Club.